That guy with the big hip injury and came back under pressure with all the hope. The no anticipation, average 7 yards passing EPA, and the passer rating still one of the league's best at the end of the season. That guy? Fin fans up north, fin fans in the south, to the east, and to the west. What's better than this? More of this. Let's talk about it. All this is a little bit more informative as opposed to the expectations that goes along with it. So, as we're kind of like looking at this, let's look at the things, the great things that Tua has and the things that's there for him to break records here in Miami. Like after week 6, Tua led the league in completion percentage. And by far, that's not an easy task to do. Now, I don't want to put it all on, Tua, okay? Because we all know that our offensive line, Jesse Davis, Austin Jackson, they just weren't, playing at their best. And I don't even know if Jesse Davis, has any more left in the tank. But anyway, it's like I don't want to put it just on, Tua from that standpoint, nor, do I want to look at it like, it was just the coaching staff. We had some wide receivers that weren't, being able to separate from their defenders. And, one of the wide receivers is now with the Patriots. And we have a whole new wide receiving crew in there, or corps, if you will, and these boys are ready to fly. It's like the Miami Dolphins airmen or something in there. It's going to be pretty spectacular to see what they're going to do. Because last year, Tua, he ranked in as like the 27th passer with the passing yards. He had like 2653 passing yards. And, he had like 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. And with that, he was tied for 23rd with touchdowns and tied for 18 with the interceptions. And you also want to look at the attempts that he had. And he had like 388 attempts, and so that put him at 27. So, he did play like only in 13 games as he got hurt by our nemesis, the Buffalo Bills, and that took him out of commission for a little bit. So you're looking at the upside of that. He did have the most completion yards in the NFL among the quarterbacks, and he has shown like a lot of great signs and great opportunities in him. Now I say this because I look at like what he was working with, and I look at, for example, what Ryan Tannehill had, right? And 2 of Ryan Tannehill's years, and you're talking about like, 2014, 2015, Ryan Tannehill passed over 4,000 yards. And it took him his 3rd year to do that, but it's like even Ryan Tannehill's 1st and 2nd year, he was over 3,000 yards in passing. So what I'm saying is that, and mind you, we did have Larry Tunsil at that time when Ryan Tannehill was around. But what I'm saying, and we did have a running game too. So how I'm looking at it is like, this is going to be Tua's year to step up. And it's really going to be like his first year actually like, this is going to be to me, this is really Tua's going to be like Tua's first year. And, him under the rain, and hopefully he can stay healthy, because if he gets hurt again, and is missing any certain amount of days, people are really going to be questioning this. With all the tools that are around him, he has every opportunity to break these records. And even he could start becoming one of Miami's top 5 passers. and he just needs to get over that 3,000 yard hump. And if he can get 5,000 yards passing, and which he should be able to do, provided the weapons that we have. Now I know our offensive line is still kind of suspect, and we're gonna, with Teron Armstead out there, we're gonna see how it's gonna be anchored down. I still think that we need to pick up Treader as a center to help solidify that even more. And I think that if we can do something like that with the center, and to help Armstead out even more, I think that we have a really, really good opportunity to get to 5,000 yards and maybe see 30, 40 touchdowns and those 10 interceptions or something. But we got to get there first, and the opportunity is in Tua's hands to do that. So because it's like the RPO is centered around a lot of the pass blocking, and because the RPO is kind of what sets the passing, is like really what sets that RPO off. Now, Tua, the Miami's pass blocking rate is like 51%, and that right there kind of like measures how a line can sustain a block for at least 2.5 seconds. And in 2021, Miami's win rate was about 45%, and it wasn't really that good. And a lot of Tua's misfortunes, of course, have come while he was under pressure, and thank God that a lot of the balls that were thrown up were like interceptions dropped, or better yet, they were just straight incomplete passes. But so a lot of this is gonna, Tua breaking records, a lot of this is gonna really rely on the pass blocking, and it's gonna rely on, again, Tua's anticipation of his receivers, and he's gonna really have to get it there. And with the receivers that we have now, that there is exactly no reason why we shouldn't be seeing some glimpses of, actually not even glimpses, we should be seeing a lot of what was happening when he was in Alabama, just bombing them. And so we're going to be looking at a lot of that this season, hopefully, and on the field. And it's just all goes to the offensive line. The offensive line has to hold for Tua to break records. For Tua to be a 4,000, 5,000 yard passer, he's going to need the offensive line to stand up and show out, because the receivers we have are all going to get separations. The running backs are definitely deceptive. So deceptive and fast and hard to take down, and will go for the home run every time they see some open field. So, because against the Carolina Panthers, Tua went 19 for 19 in passing and had like 2.5 seconds to throw the ball. And Tua's quick game is on point. Tua's quick game is seriously on point. It's just that we got to keep him up. We got to keep him in the pocket, and we got the wide receivers separated. And I feel that Tua could definitely thrive, and he could break some records. Tua is like the third fastest drop back quarterback. Is the third fastest released drop back quarterback in the NFL, only behind like Brady and former quarterback Roethlisberger. And with that, on Tua's drop back passes, he comes in probably at like 76% completion rate, which made him, which puts him at 10th for drop back quarterbacks with the ball out, like under 2.5 seconds. And his attempt for that is like close to 7 yards per attempt on that. And he is also one of 3 quarterbacks without a turnover on his dropbacks. Like, he'll get the ball out there, and usually he doesn't turn it over, so that's good too. But that too, it goes to maybe it's just like dropped interceptions or just incompletions. But nonetheless, his completion rate is still high, because anything that's longer than 2.5 seconds of Tua holding the ball, Tua's drop back rating, it gets worse. He his play. And another thing to mention is, in order for Miami to allow Tua to grow and to become a record-breaking quarterback for our franchise, is that we're gonna have to just solely not just run RPOs all the time. We're really gonna have Tua's gonna have to do it all. I mean, it just cannot be RPO. Tua's gonna have to do it all, and to do that, he's gonna have to step it up, and he's gonna have to think like. We're just not running RPOs here all the because like in college, the margins are a lot wider, making spacing on the sides of the field more difficult to handle. Making spacing on the side of the field is more difficult to handle. In the NFL, they're thinner, so there's not a lot to really work with in the NFL. So while Tua is learning again, getting the RPO down, and he's broadening, hopefully they're going to be broadening the playbook and letting him learn more of it, so it's just not RPOs. And we have the white wide receiver corpse in there, and we have the stable of running backs, and we have Gesicki, and we'll have a solid offensive line. And I'm not even. The defense is just phenomenal. The defense is going to be the killer bees, of the greater days that we knew. So, but Tua doing this in this type of offense and then this RPO offense, he should be now able to blow teams out, and he should be able to. We should be able to be blowing teams out instead of just squeaking by, these wins. And with Tua, on the road to, he's on the road to glory, and he can really solidify that with a nice 5,000-yard season. And, he can solidify this with a nice winning record, and even, hey, we'll take a Super Bowl too. But with that in mind, just know that, Tua is still a good quarterback. I don't think we should have drafted any different. I think we did the right things, getting Tua on the team. And I just think that right now, it's this time where he's going to flourish, and he definitely has the opportunity to become a record breaking quarterback for the Miami Dolphins from here on out. And we're looking forward to that. So if you guys have any questions, any comments, please let me know. Drop them. And in the meantime, if you haven't already, just go ahead. Please like, subscribe, hit the bell. Every like and subscription helps. And, we look forward to bringing you some good things this upcoming fall, along with the Miami Dolphins. So it all helps us out. We're trying to get like 100 subs so we can get the option to have polls, and I think we get 100 subs too. I think we get to have the option to have our merch store shown, on our description there. So all that stuff helps us out, and it's great. We're just here. We love the Miami Dolphins too, and this is probably the best community in the NFL, and so. In my opinion, but so it is what it is. And anyways, love you guys. Thank you. Love you guys. Deuces. Fin fans up north, fin fans in the south, to the east and to the west. What's better than this? More of this. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to take a look at our gear. Clicking with the FinFan. You can check out the links below. And also know that